Welcome to the Stars in the Making with the mission to inspire and frame the future. The stars are Josh and Mike, co-founders of Mr. Clean, lifelong friends and visionaries who are revolutionizing the mobile detailing industry in New England. With education, passion, and an unbreakable bond, they have crafted a movement rooted in excellence and community. This isn't merely a story, it's the birth of a lasting legacy. Mr. Clean stands as a testament to their commitment to quality and innovation in the industry. Sit back and get ready for an epic episode. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the stars, Josh and Mike. All right, guys, welcome to the Stars in the Making. As you guys know, we have two entrepreneurs, and the intro was very clear, was so epic. Josh and Mike, they're right here in the building. The Stars in the Making. All right, let's welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We're really happy to be here. I'm Josh, founder and CEO of Mr. Clean, and we just have a good thing going here, and we can't wait to talk about it. So.
Awesome.
And I'm Mike, I'm the co-founder, also CEO. And yeah, Rogato, thank you so much for having us. We're so excited to see what we can do today.
So we're gonna talk about. We do have the game going on. This is the very first episode that we are starting this new segment, and I love it. I hope you guys love it too. So I'm gonna ask you an icebreaker question. What is the worst business idea you wanted to, you know it's a very terrible idea, but deep down you wanted to try it out if it's gonna work? All right, so let's go. I'm gonna start with Josh.
So I have a cool little idea here. I mean, people are obsessed with their pets, right? They'll spend whatever they want on their pets. So I was kind of thinking about like a pet flick. So it's like a Netflix, but it's for your pets. Your pets are all over the house. They won't sit down. They're constantly just all over you. So you can flick on the TV, $12 a month, and it's basically going to be some sort of, cartoon or movie that distracts your pets. So you're in the kitchen and you look in the living room and your cat and dog are looking at the TV and watching this pet flick. So
Yeah, I'm kind of going to base mine kind of what Josh said about pets. What if they had a way you can rent a pet for a night? Like, say your kid had a bad day at school, they were crying or something, and you just were able to rent a pet.
Rent
a pet. So like
pet?
a dog, a cat, bird,
yeah.
any type of house animal. And I mean, I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea. I think it'd be very beneficial.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be like,
That
interesting.
would work. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
And you would say, why is terrible? But that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
For a terrible business idea, that sounds cool. But why is terrible though?
I mean, I don't think it's really terrible. I think it'd probably be terrible for the parents.
Yeah.
Because they not only have to take care of the kids, they have to take care of this pet. That's not theirs. Yeah. So there's that liability issue as well that comes into play.
or it's bad for the pet.
Or the pet as well. Yeah.
Because you're taking the pet home for the day and then you're saying, see ya, I'm happy now.
That makes sense. I think for me, I would come up with, I would say personalized pillow, like pillow fights. I would say pretty much you set up like these arenas with pillows where like strangers go and you can just like take your kids or whatever, you're gonna go like fight with anyone. I think that would like bring up, lighten up people.
Definitely.
Relieve stress as well. I think that's the kind of idea I would think. But it's terrible because I think it's not, I don't know if people would pay for that.
Yeah.
It's kind of pathetic, but
Definitely.
it's kind of fun.
It is fun.
But yeah, it's kind of fun.
Would there be like different weight classes, do you think? Or is it just like
No,
whatever,
it's
whoever wants to go at it can go at it?
I would say it's like just for adults.
Okay.
I think you can go with your kids,
Yeah.
like, your own kids, like watching you fighting with other parents. I think it's to loosen up. Because for me, like, with the background, I came from Angola, but, 2010 when I got here. I think was a culture shock, like getting here. I feel like people here in Massachusetts are kind of like into themselves so much. It's not like a bad people, but it's more like it's not, hey, lovey-dovey.
Like, family culture,
Do not, they love their own space.
Bostonians.
But I think that would be really cool, like fighting with like strangers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Pillow fights. But anyways, a little terrible.
Pillow
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's start. We're gonna talk about Mr. Clean.
Yep.
How do you guys started? Josh, please, let's go for it. I love the company. What are you guys doing? Great job. You guys are helping your community and stuff. That's the main reason.
Correct.
I really had to get you guys here because
Yep.
you guys are doing a great job and so inspiring. You guys are young entrepreneurs and teachers and stuff. But anyways, go for it.
Yeah. So the story behind Mr. Clean, it's pretty fascinating. We have a path shared together, but really a path that we both took. So we grew up in Methuen together. We've known each other since preschool. You know, that photo you talk about that you love so much.
Talk about that photo.
Yeah,
I love that photo.
Yep.
Talk about it.
Yeah,
Both of you
so,
guys.
you know, this photo kind of got lost in translation. I didn't really know it was a thing. I remember the photo, but I didn't have it. But before we started it, you know, we launched it and my mom posted that photo and it's me and Mike, our arms around together and my cousin's in the middle and you can't see his face, but he's like hugging us. And that was when we posted about the business 2 years ago now. On June 1st, we're going to be 2 years in business. But the day we posted about the business, we posted that photo and it kind of, you know, recaps about the life that we created for each other. So I was in preschool with him, and Methuen's a large city. So it used to be a town, but now it's turned into a city. There's 4 middle schools. So he grew up on the other side of town. And so it's about a 10, 15-minute drive. There's like a highway that connects both of us, which is perfect. And, you know, he went to a different middle school. I went to a different middle school. I went to the town high school, and he went to a Catholic school in the same town. So we still kept in touch, but we kind of were distant. And then I went to University of New Hampshire, and he also went to the University of New Hampshire. So we got there. Freshman year, we saw each other a couple times. We kept in touch. Sophomore year, you know, I joined a fraternity. I did intramural sports, and I was involved with like running the intramural sports. I did an internship, and he was in club hockey. So we really didn't see each other. And then senior year, we became close again. Graduated from UNH. I went into some corporate sales, and he can kind of explain his path. We'll stop there for me explaining his path. But I went into corporate sales. I was selling power drills. I was in staffing. I was selling windows and siding. And just, you know, in 2 years, I had 4 jobs, right? And I'm like, what's going to happen? Why am I just going through this continuous rut of 6 months at a new job? And, you know,
before you even get into the corporate area, what did you study again? You study
So I studied communication and sports marketing. So anything marketing was my minor.
Yeah.
So
that's what you actually wanted to do, or were you
Yeah,
like
so-
your parents or something like that?
No, so my parents, they've been in, my dad's in law enforcement and my mom's in social work. So they don't know anything about business.
That's
They've
a whole different-
been in one job for almost 30 years now, same job. So I think it's changed, right? Business has changed. So they were very worried for me when I was, you know, bouncing from job to job. But the one thing that I will talk about on this podcast is I never stopped trying. There was times I failed. I was very upset. My friends were, you know, my closest friends were joking with me. You're going to find a new job? Like, you're a mess. You're all over the place. Some of my idols were even saying to me, like, you got to figure it out, you know? But I think right now is the time to take risks. You know, especially when I was 22 or 23, I'm like, I'm taking risks. So, at UNH, I'd always want to be a sports broadcaster. I wanted to work in sports. Right. So a little bit about myself is I got to UNH, and I remember the first class I ever had, it was media studies with Dr. Kate Zambon. She was a Penn graduate, doctorate. And I went up to her at the end of class on the first day of school, and I said, hey, when are we going to talk about sports in this class? I still have it in my head. I remember what I was wearing, what she was wearing, and I remember, you know, how nice it was outside. And she said, oh, we're not going to be talking about sports in here. And I go, oh God, what am I doing? So I left that classroom and I walked down to the athletic director's office, my 7th day on the UNH campus. And I'm standing outside his door and he's like, who are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm Josh Rogato. I'm from Methuen. I study communication. I'd love to get like an internship. And he goes, this is on a Thursday. He goes, Saturday morning, you're going to be broadcasting the UNH swim team.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I go, swim? He goes, do you want an internship or not? I go, yeah, I'll be there Saturday. So I walk back. I'm on Google, swim terms, how to broadcast swim. I'm freaking out. But the thing about me is I'm very nervous, right, when I go into these things, but I need to try something new. So I was there for 8 hours doing the swim meet. I did like 7 swim meets. I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know if I can do another swim meet. And from there, it rebounded, right, into girls volleyball, girls basketball, girls ice hockey. And then it got into, boys club lacrosse, boys soccer. And then I was getting into things I really liked. So COVID hit. That all went to crap, and I was really distraught about that. But then post-COVID, I got a job selling power tools, and then from there, it really, was spiraling about, I left that job because I didn't like it. Then I went to another job, left there because I found a better opportunity. And then from that opportunity, I thought I was doing really good, and I got laid off with a bunch of other people.
I have too many questions on that.
Yeah.
You are getting into the point. I love that.
Yeah.
Please don't forget about
Yeah.
it. Let's jump to
Perfect,
Mike.
yeah.
So, Mike, now is your turn. Let's go for the question.
All right, yeah. So, after college, my junior and senior year, while I was still in college, COVID really affected me. Being at home, in bed, taking online classes and not being in the classroom with the professor in front of me took a toll on me. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do. Even from the beginning of college, I really didn't have a major that I was really interested in. I kind of just wanted to test it out and just see where it takes me. So for a while, I was working as a server at the Chateau in Andover. I'm on 10 years now, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I still had no clue what I wanted to do, and luckily for Josh, he was starting this business up, and he needed a guy to help him out, be his wingman, and fortunately that he asked me, and I took that role. I get really emotional thinking about it because it really affected me. It took a big turn in my life, and I couldn't be where I am without him in the business. So, and then now I'm at a behavioral school, special education behavioral school in Andover, and the school schedule works really well with our business. Summers are a big time for our business, so to have that school schedule where I'm off in the summer works well. My 2 jobs work well together. So.
Oh, man. That's amazing. Beautiful. Josh, I want to get back to you. So, when you were going through, I think in your story, there is some way you talk about jumping into different jobs, and then how that affected you and how you came up with the amazing Mr. Clean business.
Yeah. So I remember getting laid off from the last sales job. I was a mess. They told me constantly, day by day, you're doing great, you're doing great, you're doing great. And, just out of the blue, it's one by one every week. And it really goes to show you, like, damn, probably didn't really care about me. So I remember going home that day. I was a mess, bawling my eyes out. I'm like, what am I going to do? So I had always subbed in the school district when I come back from college. And I really liked being in the school system. And they'd always be like, hey, you should be a teacher, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, not for me. But I ended up saying, you know what? I'm going to go back to subbing. I'm just going to try it out. Ironically enough, a teacher had gone away on maternity leave. So I was going to be a long-term substitute for 8th grade English. Ended up loving it. Not sure if I wanted to teach English. But life always, the weirdest things happen at the weirdest times, right? Or the best things happen at the weirdest times. And you don't feel great about jumping into it, but you just got to take that risk. So June came along, the business position opened up at the high school. And I go, this got to be fate, right? I know so much about business, I'm just going to jump into it. So I took the position at the high school, and I'm like, this is awesome. I love this. This is what I want to do. Teach kids how to work hard, how to run a business, how to market yourself, how to sell, right? And I realized the summers I have off, right? So I had been working for
You were busy in marketing. That's what you did.
Yeah, that's the best. Yep.
That's right.
And I had, I had been working after subbing for another teacher in the district doing car detailing, right? Mm-hmm. Really successful business he runs. I admire his work, great guy. But after the 4th detail, I thought, man, there's no way I can't do this, right? Or no way maybe I can do it better. So said to him, hey, unfortunately, I'm going to try to open my own. It was a tough conversation, but that's how the best business people have learned. They learn from people. So I gave him one of my friends who needed a job because he was coming back from school. It worked out perfectly. And I had said, you know what? At UNH, I'd always clean the fraternity house. I was the house manager, and I had a Boston accent, my friend said. Friends from home don't really think I have one, but they said I do. So they would call me Mr. Clean. So I go, I'm naming it Mr. Clean.
Yeah.
I texted a kid that I went to high school with, amazing artist. His name's Alan, great kid. I said, hey, I want my black lab, I want a guy in the Jeep, and it's going to be my dad's car. Put some bubbles on it. He sent one back in 3 hours. I go, perfect. This is it. This is the vision. This is the brand we're running. And I texted some other people. People weren't really interested. 3 in the morning, I text him. I go, let's do this. And he didn't even really hesitate. He goes, let's go.
That's it.
So I go, trust me. Like, it's psycho, but we're gonna get this done.
That's amazing.
So it started off kind of, 3-4 cars after school here and there. He was still at the chateau. And for him, he has a great story because he's like, he had a college degree, but he's still at the chateau, and he's like, I got to do something, right? And that doesn't define you because he took a risk, and he took the best risk of his life. Right. So did I. So I said, hey, listen, it's going to be tough, but I need $3,000 from you. Yeah. And I need $3,000. And he goes, $3,000? I go, yeah. And he had it, right? But he's like, dude, what are we doing? I go, we're going to buy the best products, and we're just going to go. Yeah. So we didn't even have a business account. We just went. We were doing cars, man, for $100 a full detail, taking 4 hours. But we are so prideful in our work.
So you guys started with like $6,000, or you guys?
We started with $6,000. We invested.
You guys
$6,000.
did not even take any loan?
No loan.
No loan.
Good. No loan.
That's amazing, man.
So we're gonna get pretty personal here in this podcast about kind of the money. We're not gonna get too in depth. Yeah. But I want people to realize, if you can start a business without a loan, it's really good, right?
Yeah, of course.
So we did a ton of research. I said to him, just keep watching videos, and we just buckled in. We'd hang out. We'd watch YouTube videos on the best details.
Just YouTube videos,
dude.
Man, that's
all
amazing.
you need. It's free. It's literally free. You can learn a business on YouTube. How awesome is that?
Man, this is so amazing. I don't want to cut you off. Just remember where we are. This is so amazing. You guys don't let, I always say, do not let, you guys are a perfect example of it. Do not let your degree interfere in your education. And there is tons of people out there that they just don't, they get stuck with degree. Just because I have a master's degree or whatever the case may be, I don't want to try anything else and things like that. And you guys are a perfect example of that. So tell me more, why you guys didn't see that as limit, as your degree, or because both of you guys have degrees.
Yeah, so honestly, I feel like,
started a business on the side.
feel like going into teaching, I was like, hey, I don't want to be the teacher that's going to do nothing over the summer, especially if I have time. Right. So I really want to maximize that. But I always have, I have such a business brain. And I'm like, if I can do it with him, this is fun. So we kind of started it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. We're hanging out. Mm-hmm. People are really happy. We're making the cars look so nice already. And then all of a sudden, 50 cars in, we started to realize, hey, this isn't going to be a side thing. Let's take this to the moon. Right. So 50 cars, 50 5-star reviews. Nobody was mad, right? People are so happy.
Nobody was mad. That's amazing. Yeah, I could see it actually. You guys had pretty good reviews.
It's pretty crazy.
Mr. Clean, yep.
So, I start to say to him, let's really get this going, and let's start to buy better products. So then we got the LLC, the Massachusetts LLC. We got the business credit card. So now we're starting to separate our personal to our business. Tell them what we were doing at first.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
Mike, let's go.
Yeah, we were literally just one of us would pay for the products. We would go to Home Depot or we could go on Amazon or whatever, and we had a Venmo account. We had cash or Venmo, and we would take it out of our bank account and pay ourselves back with that. So we didn't have a business credit card, but we just had a debit card, and we just literally, that's how we would pay for stuff. We would still pay for our own credit cards, but then we'd pay back to the business.
Wow.
It just wasn't working. It was working, but there was definitely an easier way to do it and a more professional way to do it. Yeah. And then now we don't do that anymore, obviously, and it's been great.
That's amazing. And there's one thing I'm going to get to you. Yeah. So, Mike, I know he talked about the risk. Yeah. So when he called you, hey, let's start this business, what was your thought? Even though he said, this is a risk. Yeah. You knew that this was a risk.
100%.
He could talk to you about who I am as a person, so he's probably
So tell me more about it.
So in the moment, it was 3 a.m. I was a little sleepy. Yeah. So obviously I was just like, what is this guy talking about? There's no way he's being serious. Maybe we went out that night, Yeah. And I woke up the next morning and I was like, was that a dream? I can just, working with such an awesome guy like Josh, and how smart of a person he is, how many people he knows everyone. I'm like, I have to jump on this train. Like, this is the most perfect opportunity for me. And I mean, like, looking back at it, there was not a better decision I've made in my life. So it's awesome. It's been cool. This ride's just getting started. So
Man, this is really amazing.
really
I mean, just seeing you guys, the connection, it's really amazing. You guys just look like brothers.
Yeah,
Very much.
thanks.
This is so amazing. And you guys never had like this limited, how do you guys deal with the pros and cons of the business?
Yep. So
You guys never thought about like giving up at some point?
no.
not
This is
for $1 million, death, nothing. This is us. This is
I tell him all the time, I would be in a grave before I sell this business or give up.
100%.
I have never thought about giving up. That's the thing. And we do really good work, very good work. But the separation from us and our competition is when they wake up, we've already completed a car or two. Wow. When we fail, we've already figured out how to fix that problem when they got 4 problems they still haven't fixed, right? And we don't downplay our competition, but there was some competition as we started, and we heard that they were talking about us in a negative way, and we're like, hey, we would joke about it, you know what I mean? But I go, dude, head down, let's just go. Keep going, because hard work's gonna beat the talent 100 times out of 100 times.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And there is one thing that I was digging up. You guys are helping the community.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. That's the number one thing. I always talk to Shams regarding the stories and stuff, like our guests. And you guys, something really stands out.
Yeah.
You guys are helping the community, and that's just so amazing. Like, especially as you are a teacher, and you two have your other job, and doing this, it's such an amazing thing. Let's talk about the community as you guys.
So we grew up in the town of Methuen, and it's done so much for us.
Yeah.
So we still live there with our parents, and we're in this. It's weird, people don't talk about your post-grad college is super weird. Some people are home with their parents. Some people are jobless. Some are making 100,000. Some are in California. Some are moving to Boston, right? And it's just all over the place. And the big thing is we stayed true to Methuen. And now that I'm invested in the community again and he's back home, we figured there's no way we're running this business and not helping out the community. So when we started, it was just cool because all these customers were super happy spreading the word. And then it was like, oh, well, this kid is on the baseball team at Methuen High. How about we sponsor their game or something like that? Or the Methuen High School hockey rink. He grew up playing hockey.
That's right.
We got the board there, the banner, and that money goes back to the school. So all stuff like that, and we're helping out. We bought a dinner for the football team this year, and that's never going to stop. Because here's the thing about car detailing. There's a lot of car detailing companies, right? There's a lot of bad ones.
And how do you deal with that? The competition.
Our brand is just so good. We've created such a good brand, and that's the best businesses. The best businesses are creating the best brands. And it's, hey, our car detailing company, right? I said to him at the beginning, it's so unique because of the name and the logo. And that's where the best businesses start. Because he'll tell you, when you go around, you see gas stations, convenience stores, detailers. What are the names?
Mike's Convenience Store, Bob's Detailing Company, Rich's Landscaping.
Yeah.
You gotta get more creative, something that would stick to someone's Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean.
If you go to you go across the country and you say Mr., they're like, oh, you must be from Boston.
That's right.
So it's more than just a company. It's about the brand. It's about the logo, like Josh said, and that's people remember that more than Josh and Mike's Detailing Company.
Yep.
Yeah,
So the number
amazing.
one thing is at the beginning it was really hard because we were charging $100 a detail, Ricardo. So we go, this is a lot of work, 50 cars in, and we can't keep it at $100, right? So we started to realize we're luxury detailing. Not everybody's going to be able to afford a detail. It's a luxury. We're showing up to your house. You're inside, right? We've created this, resolution or solution to a problem of you don't have the time. You're a busy professional.
Josh, I love this. This is the detail that I was waiting for.
Yeah.
So you guys are so unique. That's the uniqueness.
Yes.
This is the podcast right here. I didn't want to hear anything else.
Yep.
The uniqueness
Very
of
unique.
Mr. Clean.
Yep.
That's it.
So
say it again.
So it's very unique, but people were doing it super unprofessionally.
Right.
They have not the best products. They don't have a good, system. Their vehicle isn't great. They show up late. They can't send reminder texts. So what I did is, and I think Mike can
You
agree
guys
here.
show up to the customer,
house.
to
Yeah,
the
We're
house.
mobile. We're mobile coming to their house.
I love that.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
How we're doing it in a different way. We're gonna buy an awesome unit that's gonna simplify it. But I think the thing that works between me and him is, and it's crazy, we've been 2 years in business, best friends, and people always say, watch out who you do business with. We really haven't even argued once. We work so well together, but we both had different skill sets. The thing about myself is, he'll talk about some pros about himself is,
Yeah.
I create the best teams. So I knew, when he told you about we were doing personal, spending on our personal, I had created an accounting sheet on Google Sheets. The thing was a mess, right? And I realized, I sat there, I go, there's got to be a better way to do this. I know I teach accounting, right? But I can't make a whole sheet myself, right? So I said, you know what? We got to go out and find somebody who knows more about us. And that's what the best business people do. They finally sit and go, okay, let's pull and pay. I'll pay for some really good help to make us better. So we got the accounting guy, we got the finance guy, we got the best banker around, we got the media guy, right? And we just created this team of such good people, right? And all of a sudden it just kept building and building and building and building. We do great work, but it's about how you can run a business. So again, our big solution was, how can we fix people's problems where they don't want to drop off their cars and figure out a pickup, right? Because if you have to drop off your car at 11, you got to get someone to pick you up. You got to Uber. It's a mess, right?
That's right.
So then I'm researching. The drop-off places detailing in our area are charging what we're charging. So I'm like, you know what? Let's get a little premium going because we're going to detail better than them and we're going to be more convenient. So we hired a guy. They do great work. They're seniors at UNH. Or one's a junior at Endicott. And it's called Future Edge Developments.
Right.
So they reached out. Their price was a kind of, I was like, is it worth it? I mean, these guys have become our best friends, right? And they have an app for us, a schedule book. Tell them about the schedule system.
Yeah.
I mean,
so how our website works is...
Or before, the sheet.
Oh my God, yeah. So we were getting phone calls or texts. We were using our own personal numbers. So our business cards would have Josh's number and my number. So, there was no one number that we both had access to. It was just like left and right. So maybe there's one person would text me and text Josh, and we double book them. So what we would do is we had a Google sheet, and we would write date, with their name, obviously.
Yeah.
They were where they wanted to drop off or pick up, or they also have the option to bring it to our house, so they can do that as well. But we're mainly mobile. And then we put their phone number, what kind of car they had, what we were charging them. And it was just this long sheet of just 200 cars of people appointments. And there was no sending a text out or reminders or anything. It was just we had it ourselves. No one else saw it. Now with these kids,
and we would text people literally. I had to manually text everyone a day before we're coming.
Yeah.
Hear this.
Yeah. So and now what Future Edge has done for us is on our website we have a way you can submit a free quote form. So future customer or previous customer will go on, hit free quote form. There's a questionnaire. It says your name, obviously, what your address is, rate your dirtiness of your car at 1 out of 10. So say a car's 8 out of 10 dirtiness. Obviously, we're going to upcharge them because it's going to be more difficult to clean. It's going to take longer.
That's so convenient. That's
it's
amazing.
Like, dog hairs are worst enemy pretty much in most cars.
So he can explain when we weren't charging for dog hair.
Yeah, we had before we even did this, we had one base price. There was no upcharge.
So you had a truck.
Yeah.
He had a convertible. It was clean. Your truck was dirty. He paid the same that you paid.
Yeah.
Wow. Think about that.
One took 8 hours, one took 2 hours.
Yep.
And
That's so smart.
Charging the same.
It wasn't smart.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, it wasn't smart. No. Hey,
I thought maybe the
no,
idea.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
So
I was
you're
going.
good. So
I messed up on.
That's okay.
I messed up on the idea.
you're good. You're good. But
Yeah, go ahead.
The
Go
quote
ahead.
form was good.
Yeah.
The free quote.
Yeah. Look,
So-
just the idea. The idea for you guys
Yeah.
going to like the person's house. That's perfect.
Yep.
I really
So-
love that. It's
but
very smart.
It
Yeah,
was
go ahead.
great, right? But the problem was we were showing up.
Yeah.
We didn't know what your car looked like.
No.
So you had a 10 out of 10 dog hair stains. It took 6 hours to clean your car. He had a convertible. All it needed was a vacuum. But it would take 1 hour. He paid the same price the truck did. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's right.
So the thing is, we're always getting our business better. So Future Edge helped us. And now what you do is you log onto our website. You fill out a form. What car do you have? Where are you located? Do you have dog hair? Do you have stains? Right? Then we go, okay, we're gonna send you a base price, but we have to add on because dog hair, it's a lot of time to take out and stains, right? So now we're doing customizable quotes, but it's better for us and better for the customer. A customer who has dog hair, sand, stains, they have to realize, hey, we're gonna make your car look brand new. I know we will, but it's gonna cost. Yes. But you gotta learn from this, right? Yes. To see how good it looks after.
That's really
and amazing. Now what we're doing is on the form it says add-ons. So if you want to add, we'll fix up your trim and make it shine. We'll give you extra wax on the windows. You can do ceramic coating.
So we do how most details or most people, they have one set of mats. So they either have the traditional rug mats or they'll have the WeatherTech rubber mats, which is really important for this part of the country because winter, fall, everything, the sand, snow. So we'll do upcharges for double mats. So we'll do, like Josh said, extra wax on the windows, which is like it has a water beat off, or if you only get bird crap on your car. Or
so you guys have all these products.
We have the best products.
Hundreds of products.
Yeah, I could see it. You guys have so much is going on when you guys are making the cleaning.
I will say a con though. When we started, we were all over the place with what products, blah blah blah. And I try to get my students to start detailing companies because they're interested. I say you want to find one product that does the job for multiple parts of the car. What we were doing is we were buying a product for a door, a product for a wheel. We're like, we gotta simplify. But that's all part of the business, And it's so funny. We've done 600 cars in 2 years, right?
Wow.
And we've done well revenue-wise. It's pretty crazy. But people think, they're like, you've made so much money. Wow, it's all in your pocket. It's not though. All we're doing is reinvesting back into the business.
That's right.
The first 3 to 5 years of a business, expect no return. But man, you see year 6, year 7, year 8, that's when you start seeing,
That's something that it's so powerful what you just
hard
said.
to comprehend though.
And most people don't understand that little detail.
Yep.
Like the first 5 years, tell them.
Yep.
The first 5 years, you don't get anything.
Nothing.
And most people expect having all this amount of profit in the first month or 2 months.
100%.
Hey,
Yeah, but go ahead.
but the hardest workers are the ones who said they didn't look for profit in the beginning. They just kept going.
Yes.
They stacked their weekends. And it's funny, the people who don't work hard, they think, oh, you worked 7 days for 1 week. You want a pat on your back? Show me 7 days, 6 months in a row. And that's what separates us. That's what we do. There was weeks, 92-hour weeks, 82-hour weeks, 80-hour weeks, 70-hour weeks. But we stack them and we just keep going. Keep going. Because we're at the age right now, and don't get me wrong, we're both tired, but we don't have kids, and shout out to our parents because they've been our biggest supporters. And my girlfriend, there's been times, I haven't seen her for weeks, but she believes in it. She's such a good supporter of it. And our friends, I think this is a really good thing to talk about on the pod. We have a friend group of about 20 in a group chat.
Yep.
Our best friends we grew up with. And Mike could talk about how I was like the...
Yeah, he's always been the facilitator.
Yep.
He's the king of the group chat. He sits on that throne. He's the one that, ever since we started this business, the group chat is, it's slowing down. There's not as many messages going on. They're not hanging out as much. Yeah. But when Josh and I are free, we love to just get the group together.
Yeah.
Whether it's just hang out, watch sports, watch football on Sundays, go to a bar, get dinner. But that's just what he's always been that guy that just brings everyone together, whether it's our friend group, his own friend group, his family. He's just always that guy that, he sets everything up.
I love that.
But the journey's been really lonely though at times, and I'm glad I have him because it's tough. Our friends, they hit us up at 8 at night, but we've cleaned 4 cars for the day, and they want to go out and, get drinks, and we love doing that, and I can't deny, but we could talk about this. For the first 6 months of running the business, dude, we were still going out and having fun Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and he would wake up really hungover, or I would, and I go, dude, we just can't be doing this. Let's talk about the sacrifices.
I think you guys are really getting into the nail. Let's talk about the sacrifices because I truly believe that most people don't understand that part of the business. Like you see everything looks fancy on IG, on TikTok, whatever. Yeah. But we don't talk that much. Yeah. This is a question that I repeat on the podcast over and over and over, but it's true. Talking about the sacrifices that comes with the business. Yeah. So let's start. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I mean, because this business is our life now, sacrifice have to be making. I'm a big FOMO guy. I have severe FOMO, which is fear of missing out. So you see your friends on Snapchat or Instagram, oh, they're out partying with their friends and their girlfriends and stuff. You're like, would love to be there right now. But I'm busy making money with my best friend. I'm busy building an empire.
Correct me if I'm wrong though. I was like that FOMO, but has your phone? It's gone away.
It's gone. It's completely gone away. Like I'm already with my best friend. Working, making money. There's nothing for me to fear of missing out. I'm doing what I want to do. And I'm happy.
Not even
so
the
happy.
money thing. Yeah. I just am like, let's build this thing. People think they come up, they're like, you guys have made so much money. But for me, it's not even that right now. And we've had fun with the money we've made, whatever. But it's more of like, dude, we're building something. And our rep's on the line. You know what I mean? So that's the number one thing. But and we love our friends to death, and it's awesome because they're our biggest supporters at times. But also, they can be your biggest haters too.
That's true.
They'll give us crap about not going out, not being here. But we do love how they don't need to buy a detail. I always say that you don't need to purchase a detail. Just repost a story.
That's all you gotta do.
Tell your friend that has a dirty car, hey, my guys do this. So
that's right. And most people can be our friends. They don't even repost what we do. That's just something that I don't really understand. Like sometimes our best friends, our brother, whatever, they don't repost our own thing. But the thing is, as an entrepreneur, you understand that you gotta keep going.
Yeah. Hey, my favorite thing is they want to cheer for you when you're the underdog. They all nonstop. But as you grow, you notice, not our friends, but people start to care less and less.
Yeah, I mean that's really human nature. This has happened a lot. Yeah. And one thing I really wanted to touch base into roughly, let's say, how much you can make at least a year
in car detailing.
Car detailing.
So mobile car detailing in New England, if you're only mobile, so we shut down Thanksgiving. Well, we did a December 1st detail because we'll push it. But November 15th you shut down till the second week of March, right? The thing is, when you get a water tank, and there's a great detailing company, we actually get a lot of inspiration from him. He does South Shore stuff. It's Surfside Detailing. He has a heated water tank. So he's crazy, man. Yeah. This guy, he's awesome. Baxter Jennings, shout out him. He's been helping us a lot. Kid's a grinder. And we're grinders, but this kid, he's almost up at our level. Yeah. He's out in the cold, man, 20 degrees, and he puts a heater in the water tank, and he's doing cars in the winter. Wow. This is his full-time thing, though, so we're still teaching. So you got to think about, we go to work 7 to 3. We're hitting a car after school, man.
This is very impressive. You guys work, not most people can do that.
Yeah, 11 hours a day.
It's pretty much 11, 12 hours a
day.
Yeah,
this is the uniqueness about you guys.
And this got me frustrated the most, man. When I first started, everyone would say, don't burn out. Don't burn out, Josh. You're going to burn out. I go, I'm 2 years in, man. I'm burning up.
That's right.
Let's go. I want more. I literally want more.
You were getting pressure from people, telling you or yourself?
My mom, it's gonna, and I get it. And my coworkers, you're gonna burn out. No, I'm
good. This is what you want to do. You want to build something.
I do.
Right.
And how is it gonna build? Not to be a little cocky, but we've done more business in 2 years as a car detailing company as our side gig than some car detailing companies that are full-time in the area.
Wow.
So back to your thing, if we push it to the max, we can do $150,000 in revenue.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing, man.
So in 3 months, we did $36,000.
Wow.
When we first started, and we're sitting close.
That's for starting. That's
$225,000 in revenue.
Yeah. Wow,
it's insane.
That's really insane.
Yeah.
I love
with
that.
one unit. We're getting to the point though where now we have to. It's always you can't sit comfortable. We're getting to the point where people are calling. They see our reviews. They know we're really good, but we're booked 7 weeks out, man. And they're going, hey.
7 weeks out.
7 weeks out.
Dang.
So they're going.
That's amazing.
They're going, we can't wait, man. So now we hate turning business away. So our next step is we'll kind of walk you through what we do when we get to the customer's house. So we don't have our own water tank. We don't have our own generator. We're kind of running it not like a full mobile car detailing company. So his big thing when we first started, he goes, Josh, are the customers going to ask us water? How many in 600 have asked us?
Not a single have asked.
They know we're just going to hook up, right?
Wow.
The problem is though, man, cords are getting tangled. Their water pressure isn't good. Their electric shorts because we're using so many things. So it's slowing us down. Our setup's time's 30 minutes. Our takedown time's 30 minutes. So there's this new setup that we're getting into. and there's this place called First Choice, New York City, and New Jersey. They're one of the only people in the country who do it, but we're going to get a Ford Transit, very expensive setup. They're going to put a setup in there, 100 gallons of water, generator that pulls out, everything is on reels. So we show up to your house, Ricardo, we pull open the doors, 5-minute setup. So we could do 5 cars in a day.
Wow.
We could go down to the Celtics practice facility. Jason Tatum lives in an apartment, that's fine. Boom, open the doors, ready to go. We could go down to Financial District in Boston.
Yeah.
You know, people in accounting. Doesn't matter if they're in the parking garage. We pull up, we open the doors, press the water tank, there we
Done.
go. No water.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And that's one of our cons right now. Is like we're having so many people reach out to us that live in apartments.
Yeah.
Yes.
They don't have a faucet for us or an electrical outlet.
They can drop off in our house, but they can't. They don't have time, you know?
That's right. That's right.
So, unfortunately, because we don't have that access, we can't do apartment buildings. They have to do drop-off. So when we get this new setup, your car's in the driveway, your car's in the street, open the doors, we'll get right to it.
Yep.
Awesome.
So
Mike, I'll go to you. So how
Yeah.
many people do you guys have right now?
Employed?
Yeah. Do you
So
do you guys having help or?
So
talk about kind of the summer schedule.
Yes.
Last year and
Yeah.
this year.
yeah, so you mean obviously Josh and I we're at every single detail pretty much except for 2 days a week I work at the restaurant still.
Yeah.
And we have helpers. We have about 4 to 5 kids right now who are helping us.
Wow, that's
so-
impressive.
Community.
Yeah,
You know,
the
my
community.
students.
Yep. So all of them, majority of them, except for a couple of them, go to Methuen High,
Yeah.
and they're all athletes. So
Yep.
You're
whether
really
it's
helping
like-
the community.
Definitely.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a big part. We're huge into that stuff.
We're very strict about who we pick too, and they've been
Yeah.
really good. So
Yeah. So we kind of just have a schedule, and we a lot of kids, like I said, they play sports. So whether some of them play wrestling, so they're spring, they're at practice,
Yeah.
they have meets. So we kind of base it off of like what kids play sports during what time of the year, and it works really well. We've gotten to the point where we're almost just like we'll submit the schedule with days we need people, and they can fill in. You know, let's say they want to work Tuesday, but they don't work Thursday. They'll fill in all. Give me Tuesday shift. Thursday's still open for someone else to pick up.
Wow.
So we like to delegate the work and have the helpers kind of help evenly. Obviously, some aren't available as much as most of them are. So it's kind of just in their own hands. If they want to help us out, they can. So
That's
it's pretty
really
awesome.
interesting.
But pretty much, you know.
last summer, weirdness.
Yeah, I mean, last summer we pretty much had one kid, and we were just.
Well, the first 5 months we didn't. Like,
Yeah.
just explain that.
Well, yeah, I mean, the first, like Josh said, 5 months. It's literally just me and him. We're just grinding.
2 years ago, yeah.
Wow.
We had our
and-
brothers help us
Yeah,
here and there.
like people help us here and there, but we got to the point where it's like we add one more helper, we can add an extra car a day,
Yeah.
and we can take less time on each car.
Yep.
So it's been great. We try not to do it as much as possible.
Yeah.
But it's usually for like Saturdays and Sundays when we're hitting 5-6 cars a day,
Yeah.
where we need we need that help.
Man.
But Josh and I could do it by ourselves.
Yep.
I think we could. But that one extra person, it cuts the time down and adds an extra.
And not
person.
even that. It's like, yes, we're growing this, and we're very happy where it's at. But like, the first summer and last summer,
Yeah.
it was really like, hey, we're gonna go every day, whatever. But this year, we know we're gonna be really busy. So what we're testing is our employees are getting really, really good and at what they do. So what we're gonna do is, and this stinks because I love working with him, but
Yeah.
Thursday I'll be off, and then he'll be off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'll be working, and then we're gonna switch, just so we can, have some weekends to ourselves and really get these employees going. Wow. We're not at the point yet where they can go to the detail by themselves, and they know that. We talk to them, we want to see how good they can get, and we say, hey, when you're ready to go to the detail yourself, you're gonna make a lot more money, But it's still, they need to just learn how everything works, the customer interaction. Right now, they have it really good. We get them free breakfast in the morning sometimes. We hook them up with all the cool hats, polos. All they have to do is show up to the detail, set up the systems, the supplies, and then clean the car. They don't have to talk to the customer. They get tipped too, They go home. They don't have to think of anything else. That's all they have to do. So eventually, in New England, this is the thing. We've debated. Do we go get this new van, still run the old van, and get 2 vans going? But the problem is, that was my personal vehicle turned business, right?
Yeah.
So it was all over the place. When he had it, I had no car. So I ended up getting that fun little convertible, and that was great. But the thing is, I would love the van back for myself. We're going to end up just paying it off through the business and then get the new one. And we're going to run that for a year and see, hey, how much can we do with this new setup, right?
That's interesting.
And our goal is very expensive, but probably rent or buy a little garage in the area, because then we can go 12 months a year.
Wow.
Right? instead of 2 vehicles, we're still doing New England weather, and they can't work November, December, January, February, March.
Man.
You know?
That's really amazing. Well, we're
Yeah.
almost at the very end.
Yep.
So I want a really good, what is your take on, what is something that you would like to tell to any upcoming star, I would
Yeah.
say entrepreneur,
Yep.
and not letting people,
Yeah.
their degrees or jobs, whatever, limit them.
Yeah.
What is one piece of advice that you would
Yep.
love to send out there? Because I truly believe that there is a lot of people out there that maybe they're burned out with whatever they do, whatever they study. Maybe they didn't want to do that, but they're stuck in a corporate job.
Yeah.
You guys, both of you guys are a living proof of that.
Yeah.
You guys are teachers. You guys are doing well for the community.
Thank you.
And also, what is that piece of advice you guys can tell to people, just not to let their degrees limit them?
Yep. So my piece of advice is, if you have a regular job, and the thing is, a lot of customers tell us, like, when are you going to get out of that teaching job? And for me, I love the teaching job, but I've, also used that to have the free time to build this business. It never intertwines, So I would really just tell people, if you have an idea, I would just go for it. And it's not going to look pretty. There's going to be days we get up and we're like, oh my God, we didn't make great money that day. Like, is this going to burn to the ground? And then the next day it's like, whoa, here we are. So entrepreneurship is a lonely road, and it tests you mentally and physically, but I would just keep going, because we've failed so many times already. But we don't tell people about the failures. We just keep going, and we figure it out ourselves, and we don't let any failure just stop us. You just have to keep going. The hardest worker is going to win 10 out of 10 times. And the hardest worker is going to be the one that lasts at the end. So look at the long goal, keep going, and just keep working hard. That's really, working hard is the number one thing.
I love
it. Yeah.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Mike, let's get it.
No pun intended here, but just reach for the stars. You can do anything. Anything your heart desires, just go for it, do it. Luckily for me, I have my best friend with me, but don't feel afraid to just do it alone. You can do anything you can. Just go for it, man. Reach for the stars.
That's right. Reach for the star.
Yeah.
Oh, man, thank you so much
this
for
is
having you guys here
Yeah.
on the Stars in the Making. But before we end, I have a quick game challenge.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go for it.
Yep.
It's a quick one. Please do not think so much. Don't think about it. Just go for it. Pick one, and that's it. But you guys have to tell me a little bit about these people. I think they're well known. I put some African guys. I don't know if you guys know, but let's go for it. So this is a question where you're gonna have to fire Josh. You will have to fire one entrepreneur.
Perfect.
Yeah, well known. So the question goes. The first one goes. We have three options, which is Jeff Bezos. We have Oprah Winfrey, and we have Aliko Dangote. This is an African entrepreneur.
Yep, he got rich off cement. The cement, right? Cement business.
Yeah, talk to us about these three guys.
So, out of these three, it's really difficult, but I think Jeff Bezos would have to get fired. And he's built an empire, right? But the thing about him is he's probably the most replaceable out of those three. In Africa, I was reading up on, I know who he is. He just, he's very successful there, and I think he has such a pull nationwide, like all over there. But Oprah Winfrey.
Aliko Dangote.
Yeah, and then Oprah Winfrey, she just is the media person, and her emotional intelligence and the way she connects people is great. But Bezos has done well, and he's the business guy, but I think he's definitely the easiest to replace out of all those. And he also, there's some things about him not being great to his employees and all that stuff. So I think he could get replaced, but with those other two, I think we could find someone.
We respect your opinion. Yes. All right, so Mike, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so let's go for the second question. We almost at the very end. So you do have the first option, of course. You got three options as well.
Yep.
The first one, Elon Musk, well known. And the second one, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook guy, and Jack Ma,
Perfect.
the Chinese
E-commerce.
entrepreneur. Exactly.
So
Alibaba.
Talk to us about
Alibaba. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to go with Zuckerberg, I think.
Why?
So, you got Elon Musk. the greatest innovator currently in the world. You know, he's done a lot of things to help people. Maybe some people don't agree with it, maybe some people do. But the world's changed ever since, you know, now there's electric cars. Everything is just, anything he wants to make happen, happens. And it's been very beneficial for, you know, this generation and hopefully future generations. And then Alibaba, what is it?
Alibaba,
yeah, sorry.
Jack Ma.
Jack Ma.
Yeah,
So,
for Alibaba.
Yep, so, I mean, e-commerce, it's like the biggest thing in the world right now. You know, you can just go online, you can shop. There's Amazon, like Josh obviously Jeff Bezos, but you know, you go online shopping. It's so easy to buy stuff nowadays, and obviously Chinese. It's like a lot of stuff is made in China. Yeah. So for that population, it's just so easy for them to get and acquire anything they want.
Yeah. So
but,
who would you
so
fire?
I'm going to fire Mark Zuckerberg because Facebook is huge. You know, there's so many good pros for it, but before us, our generations, there was no social media, and they lived their life completely fine. So I think
that's right.
You know, so
that's
like
so
our parents grew up, they never even have, some of them didn't even have phones. You know, they'd show up to the park and they just hoped someone was there. Yeah, but with Facebook, you know, there's definitely a lot of things. You know, my family that I don't talk to, I see like their statuses and I see like their family photos, and I think it's awesome. But I think he's the easiest that I'd fire out of the three.
I love that.
For sure.
That's really a good one. I always think about it. Actually, on social media, if you are not creating or promoting your business and things like that, I think very few people are capitalizing social media, like promoting businesses and things like that.
Yeah, and another thing is
that's a big thing.
Instagram's been huge for our business.
That's right.
But you can get so distracted on social media.
Scrolling.
So about 6 months ago, I don't even use Snapchat much, and I've never downloaded TikTok, but I was like, what am I doing with this app? So I deleted Snapchat, and I never looked back. I don't even look at it. But
I love that.
Yeah. So
thank you so much, guys. I think we did enough.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm so glad
Thank you so
seeing
much.
you guys
Can't
here.
wait to-
The Stars in the Making. You guys are amazing, so inspirational. I truly believe that this episode will inspire millions.
Hopefully.
I truly believe that.
So much.
That's what we want to do.
Yeah, thank you so much for being in the Stars in the Making again.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're pretty much done with our episode. Please keep reaching for the stars and never give up. Remember, I say this every time. Every star that you admire today started somewhere. So believe in that, keep taking that first step, and keep reaching for the stars. Right, recorder here, and we all set. Peace.